Hello, Tom Lavecchia here with a very special edition of the New Theory Podcast in conjunction with our friends over at New Jersey Digest. We have probably, I think, and I believe, one of the most important people in New Jersey, Gorge Goldhoff, who is the president of Hard Rock Casino in Hard Rock Casino and Hotel in Atlantic City. George, welcome to the New Theory Podcast. How you doing today?
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate being on. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. So us being two guys in Jersey, we know time is money, so we'll jump right in. Let's talk a little bit about the kind of the macro around the casino. What are your thoughts on the current state of Atlantic City and the casino industry?
Well, I'm the new guy here in Atlantic City, and so I've been here for about 7 months. It's great to be back on the East Coast,
Nice.
where I'm from, and it's fantastic to be here, particularly in the summertime. This last summer has been reasonably good. We celebrated our 5th-year anniversary here at Hard Rock with a whole bunch of great entertainment and events and promotions and everything else. And it's been a really good orientation and introduction so far.
Nice. Now, how do you see the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino kind of differentiating itself? I know you discussed two pillars, which are obvious the most, but not really executed in Atlantic City: hospitality and entertainment. Give us how you're going to kind of differentiate yourself from the rest of the pack.
Well, you the nail on the head right there. Music's in our DNA. It's our heart and soul. And Hard Rock Atlantic City is committed, and we budgeted over $30 million
Yes,
in headliner acts. And we have two large arenas. One of them is our Sound Waves, has about 1,600 seat capacity. The other one is Edis Arena, that has about 6,700
nice.
Person capacity. And so just those two showrooms, we've dedicated $30 million. And then we have certain what we call vibe stages, and those are in restaurants and in the lobby and that type of thing. So it doesn't even include that. We have music 7 days every single week. So yes, music is one of them. And I know you've been on property before,
Yes.
and one thing that Hard Rock is known for is their memorabilia, and we have the largest collection of music memorabilia on the face of the planet. We have 87,000 pieces of memorabilia, and we have some of the best pieces here, from Elvis's full length suit to Nikki Sixx's bass guitar, and it goes on and on. So really, okay, those two things, and then you touched on it too. We have an amazing group of team members that provide hospitality to all of our guests that stay in our 2,000 some odd hotel rooms, go to the entertainment, dine in one of our 26 restaurants, drink in one of our 11 bars, enjoy their time here. And so that's exactly right. Entertainment, hospitality, and of course we have all the activities, whether it's retail and just a fantastic casino floor.
But that's what's interesting, because typically in the casino game, this, everybody wants to drive casino revenue, which you guys have done in spades, $500,000 in collections over the last year or so, whatever it was, putting you at number 2 behind Borgata and ahead of the other 7. What's one of the most important things you want to kind of tell current guests, people watching that want to come down to the property, what to know about Hard Rock specifically? I know we talked about memorabilia. We talked about you touched on the great food, maybe expand upon that. But what are some of the important things guests should know when they come?
That's right. Well, we're an entertainment company first, and we're in we have 300 locations in 70 different countries.
Wow.
And so we're really focused on that part of the guest experience. So if you come here, as I mentioned, we have plenty of places to dine. We have places that you can take a respite, sit down, have a drink in a nice, private area. We have entertainment. I like to call it the if-then. if you have great restaurants, and if you have great hospitality, and if you have great retail, and if you have a great hotel room, and if you're on the boardwalk, and if you can provide an amazing spa experience, and if you have access to the beach, then gaming works. So it's really about everything. We have a wonderful casino floor. We have beautiful table games.
Yeah.
Our dealers are the best. We have a very lucky floor in terms of jackpots won and the newest slot product. But it's really the entire package. So when you come down here, yes, we would love for you to play on our casino floor, but it's really everything else as well.
Well, Sharon's great. Shout out to Sharon. And we came down last year. We came again down this year on property. You guys hosted us. You were fantastic. And I can go on and on and on. But one of the surprising things for me is it was a great family experience. And I'd like for you to touch on that. Was that by design? Or, you know, did you kind of morph into more family friendly? Because I really felt it to be a strong don't get me wrong, I gambled. I won $1,000, but I felt it to be a strong gambling experience. If you could touch on that a little bit too.
Yeah, that's a great perspective. We incentivize a lot of our visits here in Atlantic City, and it's casino, it's entertainment, and it's food and beverage, and it's, you know, all of the above. But we also realize that people come to Atlantic City to enjoy the beaches and the boardwalk, and there's entertainment seekers, and there's tag-alongs, and these tag-alongs might come with an avid gamer, or, you know, but I guess the point is, and you touched on it, there is so much to do. I mean, Atlantic City is America's playground since 1920, and so, you know, great food, great events, great citywide events, and so, you know, so much to do in Atlantic City, and it's such a short drive, whether it's from New York or Philadelphia or Washington, or everything, you know, a windshield wiper from, you know, 3 hours off of the coast. And so it's just a great place to visit.
Now, you touched on something in one of my research on preparing for the interview. And Hard Rock was doing okay, doing well, not knocking it, but it was doing well prior to getting there. And these last 7 months, you're doing even better. And it came from a high baseline. You know what I mean? So like you said something along the lines of people look at the 90%, but sometimes the 10% is the hardest. And I agree with that. Can you kind of touch on that statement? And maybe what are some of the things you did to kind of overcome that 10%? Because you're really killing it over there at the Hard Rock.
Well, first I want to give a shout out to Joe Lupo and the leadership team and the team members that you know, all came together to breathe life into this Hard Rock Atlantic City, beautiful, amazing, integrated resort, 4 million square feet. And that was a really heavy lift. And they brought it from 0 to, you know, 90 miles an hour in, you know, 3.5 years, 4 years. And now we're a little bit more mature. We've evolved. And there's something that we call sweating the assets, which is we have a great hotel room. We have a great hotel towers. How can we make it better? We have wonderful IT. How can we make it better? We have terrific marketing and loyal guests and fantastic customer service. How can we make it better? And so it's really turning dials and not trying to pole vault over a 17-foot you know, goal or something like that, which was happening, you know, early on in the evolution of the enterprise. So
when I have people like you, presidents, high level folks in their career, I have to ask you, what advice or how do you stay motivated? Because again, from a business perspective, you can argue, you could have kind of came in, you know, put the racing gloves on, the hat on, drive at that 90 miles an hour, still did very well. You still could have did good, but you're bringing it from good to great. How do you stay motivated in that type of environment as an individual?
You know, you got to remember, and you said something in the very beginning, which, I mean, It didn't make me cringe, but I'll tell
Yeah.
you what, I am the least important person on this property. The, the team, I can provide a little bit of leadership. I can
Yeah.
provide a yardstick for quality. I can provide some urgency. I can provide a little bit of vision and that type
Yeah.
of thing. But at the end of the day, it's our team members and
That's
our
it.
leaders
Yeah.
that make it all happen
Yeah.
and execute on the vision. And you know, I get a lot of motivation from talking to the team members,
Yeah.
and they have great ideas, and just interacting with them. And quite frankly, with our partners, they are through and through blue. They're entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
and our CEO Jim Allen
Yeah.
is absolutely amazing. And you know, like anything else, you got to love what you do. And if you
Yeah.
don't love what you do,
Yeah.
I say, look, we're here for 8, 10, 12, 16 hours
Yep.
with folks. Where else in our lives
Yep.
do we do that? And so you really got to love what you do. And so it's my job and it's my responsibility to ensure that we're creating that environment. And when I see team members develop and take that next step into supervisory leadership and then management, that is really inspiring, and I get a lot of personal satisfaction out of that.
I love it. Casino industry is growing. New licenses being granted online in 16 states. There's now gambling, obviously, in Pennsylvania. Obviously, there's the stalwarts in Atlantic City and Vegas and so forth. What advice do you have somebody who's maybe looking to get into or aspiring to be in a career with a casino or even a casino executive?
Yeah, I would say I'll give you just a quick story. When I was 15 years old, I was dishwashing, and I was at a local little mom and pop restaurant that wasn't far from my home
Yeah.
in upstate New York, and I got a promotion for the first time, and
Nice.
the chef said, how would you like to learn how to peel carrots and chop onions instead of and I said, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. And I loved what I was doing. I said, I'm working with my buddies here. Why me? He said, well, you take care of our guests, you get along with your coworkers, and you know your job. You keep your stainless steel
Yeah.
counter clean.
Yeah.
And so that really stuck with me. And so as that relates to anybody looking for a career in hospitality, get along with your peers, have
Yeah.
a focus on the guests, and know your job. And I think that's as simplistic as it gets, but I still remember what Jerry the chef told me, and that'll stick with me.
I love it. That's the original MBA that you earn early on. What's your favorite thing about working in Atlantic City?
Well, I'll tell you what, I love the nature, and I love the big business, small town.
Yeah.
You really get to know everybody and the community, and you get to make an impact on the community. You're
Yeah.
working in a very large professional organization. So that part, I really like that contrast. And I love the nature.
Yeah.
I didn't have a true appreciation. I had been down here a number of times, but I'd go to the
Yeah.
casinos.
Yeah.
And then when you live in the community, you have the beaches and the rivers and the trails, and it's wonderful. And I gotta say too, if your food isn't good
Yeah.
in South Jersey, you're not going to stay open very
Yeah.
long. And
Yeah.
we have so many great restaurants throughout this region. It's fantastic. I really like those
I
things.
gotta give a specific shout out to Kuro. It's the best Japanese food in the state. Not just Atlantic City, not just South Jersey, but in the state. Kuro. We featured it in New Jersey Digest, and we envision it featuring again. The Wagyu beef is off the charts. It is so good. My wife and I enjoy it. What's your favorite memory? Whether it be at the Hard Rock or in Atlantic City. Give us your kind of favorite Atlantic City memory.
Over the course of the last 7 months since I've lived here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, I took a family vacation here when I was 5 years old, and it was the first time I saw the ocean.
Nice.
And I went running out to the ocean. Those waves were crashing, and I remember getting slammed on the beach and being like saved by, I think, my dad. And so I do remember that as a fond memory. But you know, there truly is so many. I remember walking the casino floor for the first days I was here, and the team member guest experience and service and attention to detail is legendary inside our entire company, inside of Hard Rock in general. And I said to myself, you know, they won't know me, or something is happening. This can't be, you know, an everyday occurrence.
Yeah.
And when I walked through the casino floor and the dealers were greeting me and the EVS attendants were saying good morning, and you know, it went on and on, I knew that this was a legacy group of team members, that their parents had worked in casinos and their grandparents and cousins and uncles and aunts had all worked in casinos, and they really got it. It was truly special. And I think that's what's unique about the Atlantic City experience, at least at, I think, the Atlantic City experience, but certainly at Hard Rock.
I love it. One final question. I'm going to put you in the spot a little bit and share what you can, because I know you can't share the secret sauce. You guys are number 2. Ocean, you're ahead of the legacy folks. You're on the heels of Borgata, right? Are you a numbers guy, benchmark guy? Hey, what are they doing? Let's kind of beat them. Are you more of a not look at them? If we do everything right, we'll beat them. Give us kind of like, you know, your thought process, and what's your strategy to hopefully get to number 1, which I do predict is going to happen.
Well, like you said, you need the right strategy, and the right strategy are, you know, really just a number of things. And in terms of a benchmark, we want to beat our own best efforts.
I like that.
Day after day, week after week, month after month. And one day, good things will come from that. But the right strategy, right? Take care of your team members take care of your guests. Ensure that you have the right innovative marketing and IT tools at your disposal. And I really think it's that simple. And we just keep on trying to beat our own best effort.
I love it. Just one question out of curiosity. I'm a poker player by nature. It's funny because I go to your hotel and respectfully, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go play poker somewhere else. I never leave the property because it's so great. You guys really suck me in. Why not have a poker room? What was the thought process?
I think it was more of a real estate thing, which is to say that we needed X amount of slot machines, X amount of table games, certain amount of, but there may be an option in the near future that will contemplate poker, because I'm also an avid lover of poker. I don't play as much as I used to, but I'm with you 100%, Tom. I think to run a casino, you have to have a poker room.
I love it. And before we conclude, I only have one request. Please bring Let It Ride back. That was my all-time favorite.
Okay, you got it. Yeah, we'll do it.
So George, you've been generous with your time. You're a busy guy. I'm gonna have you give the closing remarks, maybe plug the property a little bit more, and then also maybe share your thoughts on some business advice or career advice before we conclude.
Yeah, love what you do. Be kind to others, and create great relationships with your peers, and because we all work so closely with one another. And Hard Rock Atlantic City is truly a super special place. Yes, we have great music. Yes, we have great gaming. Yes, we have great hospitality, but the people that make up this organization are second to none. And I've been in hospitality, entertainment, casino, whatever we're calling it these days, for 40 years. And this is the highlight of my career. And I'm just delighted to be in the community and in South Jersey and in the Hard Rock. It's a great time to be in gaming.
I love it. Put a link to the casino below. Make sure you go check it out. Tell them Tom and New Theory sent you. George, thank you so much for being on the New Theory podcast.
Thank you, Tom.